Hello! Welcome back. I am so happy to have you. My name is Ata and you're tuned into Life Ata, where I talk all things nursing, plain traveling, lifestyle, and all that good stuff. So you're in a good spot. You're in safe hands, literally. But I will tell you this. First off, obviously my background has changed. I'm a travel nurse, so things change for me frequently, especially my background, so I can't really get attached to any certain look for now because that's my life right now, you know? I'm always on the road, always moving and shaking, and I like that. So new background, new place, and it's about to change again. So if you like change, boo, I'm for you. I like change too. So that I wanted to mention. I also wanted to say, in my previous videos, I mentioned that on Mondays I'm going to, my eye, oh my god. So in my previous videos I mentioned that I want to have Mondays dedicated to all things nursing and nursing related. Oh my god, you guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, good. So Mondays I want to dedicate my videos to all things nursing, but on Wednesdays I really want to introduce the lifestyle component to my channel, and I feel like Wednesday is a good day. Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, because there's something about a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday that's like really attractive, really appealing to me. I just don't know the day yet, and I don't necessarily know how I'm gonna roll it out, but it's gonna be good when I do get it. So I do want you guys to look out for that. But if you're here for the nursing stuff, that's great because I'm committed to my nursing Mondays. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the topics because I'm learning not to draw these things out because I don't even want to hear myself talk that long, and I just kind of like short and sweet, you know? So this video is going to be on how to land that first job before you graduate nursing school, because come on, like after you have tortured yourself, studied a million hours, done the clinicals, done whatever, you want to have your money, you want to be paid. And I mean, at least I did. There are some people who take some time off. They're not really interested in getting a job right after. They want to focus on family, go on some vacations, you know, take their time before taking NCLEX. And that's good for you. Like, I think that's great. No shame in your game. But for the people who want jobs immediately to start getting paid, this is the video. And I also think I'm a good person for this just because I had job offers before I graduated. I had a solid job before I graduated, and it wasn't just any job, it was the job I wanted, the unit I wanted at the hospital I wanted before I even applied to nursing school. When I was just taking prereqs, I remember I wanted to work at that hospital on that unit, and I got that job, and let me just say, it was at one of the best hospital systems in the country, like top. So it wasn't easy, but I want to share the tips that I applied to myself to land a couple job offers, but especially the job of my dreams at that time when I was in nursing school and really wanted a job before I graduated. As we know, or you may not know, it is not the easiest thing to find a job before you graduate. A lot of hospitals want you with experience because it's so expensive to train people and then risk them leaving. So a lot of hospitals want you with at least 2 years experience. But how the F are you going to have experience if someone doesn't give you a try, right? I do think that's going to change a little because of COVID. I think this really emphasized the nursing shortage and how bad we need nurses, like good nurses. So I think it might be easier for this next round of nurses to find jobs. But if it isn't, this video is going to show you how to land that job, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so and I'm looking at my phone because I like to keep my tips here. Don't judge me. Our dog is barking right now, so if you hear that too, again, I'm sorry. So the first one, to land your dream job, I would say, and I swear by this, this is my #1 tip because I am huge into manifestation. And I do think if you create like a dream board, and if you don't create a physical dream board, just have your mindset. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, I want to work at this bomb-ass hospital, in the ICU, in labor and delivery, in cardiac step down, in psych when I graduate. Like, there's so many people that will say, oh, you need to work in med surg first, oh, you need to do this first, you need to do this. Listen, you're living your own separate life. There's merit in what everybody has to say, but you're living your life, not for anyone else. If that's what you want to do, start in the ICU, create a vision board, or every day say, I am an ICU nurse. I have a job for graduation. I have a job. Like, just there's so many ways that you can manifest, and you can do it with words of affirmation. That I deserve this, I've worked hard for this, it's mine, what I want wants me. Or you could create a vision board of a picture of you in the hospital and you know, stethoscopes, just fun things that you can look at every day on your phone, just to keep you, if you're not into manifesting, at least it keeps you motivated. Like, you know what your goal is, and it's okay to say that's what I want, period blank. I was already willing to say, if I didn't get that hospital at that unit, I was open. I was like, okay, that's fine. But this is plan A, and right now plan A is the only plan. So I really think, get a dream board, set your goals, manifest the shit out of that. The next one is you want to really pre-scope out jobs and the requirements. So if you want to work in their ICU, do they have a new grad program? Do they have an externship program? Internship program? If they do, you want to print those out early, like I did, and you want to see, what are they requiring you to have? What are they requiring you to do? Do they require you to be entered into a BSN program? Do they require you to be through a certain university? Do they require you to have CNA and MA experience? Really find this out so you're not late to the show, okay? Find out what these jobs, what these internship programs are requiring, and make sure that while you're in nursing school, you are really, 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 really working to give them everything they've asked for, if not more, because you're competing against so many, like, they pump out nursing students, thousands, I'm sure thousands, if not tens of thousands every semester, every year. This is your competition in this time of getting a job. You really, really, really want to build a small little folder of the jobs you want and the requirements. The next one is create a solid resume and update it every semester. This was, honestly, it's one of the best things I did in nursing school. I created this resume every semester. So block 1, I would write down all the skills I acquired. I would list my clinicals like they were jobs, like clinical at this hospital, this nurse to patient ratio, what I did, the types of patients I saw, if I got to handle CHF patients, if I got to handle psych patients, the acuity of the patients, every single thing. And while I was in clinicals, if the nurse I was working with would say something that I thought would sound nice in my resume, I would do that. I would also Google the hospital and see what they said about that unit, like, oh, high acuity neuro unit where ABDs and blah 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 and blah 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 are used, neurosurgery, blah blah blah. Just really make it sound professional, even though, don't lie and say that you did things that you didn't do, but really pull from your clinical experience and your knowledge of that unit. Bomb ass resume, trust me. I had a great resume out of nursing school, okay? And then if you're not really comfortable with your resume and your cover letter, make sure you do a cover letter, even if it's generic, because it is your first job. It can be generic and just change up the hospital names or whatever. Go to your university. They usually have a writing center where they'll review your essays and papers. They can review your resume and cover letter for grammar, for sentence formats, just all that good stuff. And I really did that, and my resume was beautiful at the end. So every semester, add the new clinical, add your new skills that you've gained in clinical, which whether it's IV starting, placing NG tubes, wound changes, just whatever you've learned in nursing school, add that. Also, you want all your certificates like BLS. If you're a CNA or MA, add that on. Previous degrees, because a lot of nurses have previous degrees, like prior bachelor's degrees, add that, because it does show that, when it comes to academics, you're down for it. Scholarships, and other accomplishments you have. And yeah, I will say this, if you are a CNA, I don't know if if you're not working at a hospital currently, I don't know if that necessarily helps you get in the door, but if you're working as a CNA right now on your unit in a hospital and you want to have a job there, that's great. Like, that is a great place to start. Don't be one of those CNAs where people like don't like you. You want to be one of those CNAs where people are like, oh, she knows her shit. Like, we want her as a nurse. Like, she's gonna be a great nurse. You have easy access to the nurses, easy access to the hiring managers, the charge nurses, and that is a great way to just get in the door. But if you don't want to stay at your hospital, just add that to your resume. So let's go to the next one, is internships and externships, which I say this is like the second best thing you can do. These are all like, I would say, must things to do, but this is like the second best thing to do is, oh my god, I was doing that thing again where I was looking at here and not here. Like, let me look here. So the next thing is externships and internships. So internships are really kind of where you're kind of hands off. You're more so following the professional. But externships kind of immerse you a little bit more. And I actually did this. Everything on this list I'm naming, I did. But I did an externship at my dream freaking hospital. I remember how excited I was. I scoped out this externship a year and a half before I even applied. So I knew when the deadlines were. I knew every single thing I needed. Resume, cover letter. I knew letters of reference. Like, I knew this externship like the back of my hand. I was prepared, baby. I was so prepared for this. And so when it came, I was like, I got this. And I did get it. And it was extremely competitive, but it was really cool because I got to follow the nurses. I got to, help with, changing patients. It's not luxurious, but that's the reality of nursing. I got to watch wound dressings. I got to go to codes. I got to see how the charting goes. Like, I really just got to really be in it with my nurse. So you'll be bed making and cleaning duties as appropriate, assist with personal hygiene, obtain vitals and documents and blood glucose, assist with simple dressing changes, follow department and hospital infection controls, position lifts and transferring the patient. So it's nothing like you'll never be able to do anything that's not within your scope as a student, but you will be able to do some really cool things and really see what nursing life is about. You do the full 12-hour shifts with your nurse. You usually assign one nurse to work with. And that nurse, if you better, like, if you got an externship, you better put your A game on, okay? Because that nurse will be a great letter of reference, because the nurse I worked with was my letter of reference and my foot into the door with this hospital. I got to know management. I got to, on a name-to-name basis, got their emails for later, because I will tell you, you need to keep a contact list of all of the people you come across. Like, the nurses that are willing to write letter references, their names, their email addresses. You need to keep of all the nurse managers, charge nurses you meet that you're on terms with, that they're willing to vouch for you. This list, because it's going to come back when you graduate or before graduation, to reach out to people, ask for a letter of recommendations, ask if they're hiring. Not in an annoying way, but you want to keep a reference and a contact list. And I know a lot of my classmates, I don't remember doing that, but I did that and it really did pay off. So if you can land an externship or internship, I would look for that as soon as possible. See when they're taking applications, because it's usually really early in the semester. Like, if the semester starts in January, applications are usually end of January, early February. They're interviewing in like March, and you find out in April. So you can start in May or June. So just keep on top of that. And if you do a good job, honey, you're like already in the door for your first job. Like, it's a great way to start out.
The next thing is, in clinicals, please, for the love of God,
put your best foot forward. Carry yourself as a professional. So when you're going to clinicals, don't look frumpy. Like, don't have an attitude about having to help do things. Don't be crazy. Like, don't be crazy. I have to emphasize that, because I've precepted some people, like new grads, and I fucking love new grads. I love new grads. I shouldn't say that word, but I love new grads. But I've had some crazy ones. I'm like, girl, like, what is going on with you? But I've also had some amazing bomb ones too. So I would just say, just be professional, be willing to help, come with a great attitude, ask questions, and also don't be afraid to show off that you are that girl. Like, you know your stuff, you want to learn more. Like, just have your nurse be at the end like, okay, okay, like that's what you want to bring to clinicals. Like, I know clinicals suck because I freaking hated clinicals, but you need to put your smile on and you need to show up. Best foot forward. The next thing is, make sure at those clinicals, if your nurse really liked you, ask if they're willing to write you a letter of reference. And if you have a while till you graduate, just ask them to maybe write a general one so that you can keep it on file, because it's kind of like weird to ask someone 2 years later that you did clinicals with 2 years ago if they'll write a reference. They like may not even remember you. So just ask for it as soon as possible if you know it's going to be a while. On top of that, get letters of reference from your professors, because a lot of time for the externship programs and new grad programs and nursing programs, you need references from your professors. So even if there's a professor that you literally cannot stand, but try to stay, just be graceful and get your letter of reference, then bounce, okay? The next thing is apply before graduation. Oh my God, so many of my classmates did not do this. I was like, you want to apply for your job before you graduate, because you want a job before you graduate. And that's usually like in August, because if there is a new grad program or a job for new nurses, you should apply like probably in August, September, because you'll interview in October possibly and hear back November, December if you got the job before you graduate. Or you'll apply, and I'm sorry because I graduated in December, so it kind of throws me off, or you'll apply in like February, interview in March, and hear back April, May if you got the job. And then if you do get the job, you're going to be asked to interview. Please do not wear scrubs to your interview. Again, be professional, look your best, like act like your money depends on it, because it does. Look good, do not wear your scrubs. And be patient after the interview process, because oh my God, I applied, I remember like in September, August, and I didn't hear back till like November, and I was like, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't get it, and I wanted to cry, and I was so stressed out. And then I got that call, and then I got the email and my offer letter with how much money I was going to be making, and I like freaked. My dog's barking again. Sorry about that. I freaked out. I'm like, am I literally going to be making this much money? I like could not believe it. I'm like, I'm literally going to be paid like big girl money. And yes, so yeah, just be patient. And okay, 2 more things. Pre-practice the interview questions. Like, you do not want to get to your interview and like freeze up. Like, practice so it flows gracefully. Have friends, family interview with you. Just really practice. Google questions and answer them. Also, when I was interviewing, they didn't even ask me like really questions about like, who are you? Tell us about you. They were like, if a patient's having a GI bleed, what are the labs you're gonna expect to order? Oh, if patient's coming in with nausea, vomiting, they haven't used the bathroom, they say in like 2 weeks, what are you thinking is happening? What are you thinking the next? My camera cut off. But they might ask you, what do you think the next steps in the plan of care might be? And you might say, they might have a small bowel obstruction, you might place an NGT, you might order these labs, blah, 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 blah. So just consider that. And my last tip is just work your ass off to pass NCLEX. No pressure, but pressure, because if you don't pass NCLEX with my job anyways, the start date was like January 16th. If you hadn't passed NCLEX by then you lose your job offer. And so really just woosah, take a deep breath, study, know that you've got it, know that you've worked hard enough, really, really, really focus on just doing a great job. Like, you've made it this far, the NCLEX is, you know, it's whatever. Pass it and move on to your life. So these are my tips on how to land your first job before you graduate. As a nurse, like, that is like ideal to already know that your money is set, that first paycheck is coming, all your hard work is paid off. And these tips, like, for sure worked, because they worked for me, and I really don't see how they cannot work for anybody else. Just, I hope you took notes, just breathe and get it done. That's all. But thank you for joining me again with Life with a Tap. My name is Tap, and here I talk all things nursing, travel nursing, lifestyle, regular travel, like, you know, all that good stuff. And today's video is on how to land your first job before you graduate nursing school. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye.